kind of a discursory. Like some of them are short.
Discursory. I said discursory, but I like discursory, like dissurgery. Discursory, like a surgery. A discursion is a non-existent thing that's kind of a discursive, digressive excursion of a discourse. It's like an excursion of a discourse. Discursion. That's how that malaprop came into my head. And then there's things of a discursory nature, but also you can perform discursory if needed. Whatever that would be. How would you ever need that? I don't know. Look, it's true. If you need it, you could perform it. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't have to be anything that makes sense. Like, I can't even believe you don't know what I'm talking about. Discursory? Yeah. Did you go to college? Do you know how to do a discursory? They didn't teach you that in advanced grammar? It's how you take apart a sentence to reappropriate elements from that sentence to make something completely different sentence make sense. It's a discursory. You're performing surgery on the discourse. Come on. I don't know if I'm also an important part of Deckard's artwork of talking. If you're a psychology or psychiatry clinician and you're trying to write a paper on adult ADHD performance behavior on YouTube channels, if that's your paper, I'm your primary source material. Absolutely, at least one of them. Like, I hold no bars back on my ADHD behavior when it comes to the videos. Like, things I'm completely... Like, you could study me and do a study on... This is what an ADHD adult, right, would do. That's what's happening here. So it's two levels. It's an art for people who can appreciate the artwork of it, but for medical science, it's also like a life in the life of an adult with ADHD. As you know, they're all unique, but some of these obvious traits are like, why does he always look around outside like he's scoping the place, like he's waiting for, I don't know why I do it. It's a distraction. I usually do it when I hear a car. Like, I'm just checking my six. It's just what I do. It's just part of what I do. It's not a security thing. It doesn't feel like a safety, anxiety relieving thing. Like, I'm not checking my six so I don't get punched or shot or life threatened. No, it's just, I don't know. It's just the impulsivity and distractibility of ADHD. It's hilarious though, right? Like, or maddening. For a clinician though, it's neither. It's rewarding, like, research information that the doctor can use. Yeah, so artists, as an art, it is what it is. But as a science, my videos are for a particular scientist who's looking for an adult with ADHD trying to perform themselves on YouTube as a content creator. Here you go. There he is right there. He's in between both fingers. I'm pointing right at him. But also I could do this. But it's not just this. It's the whole, even the backgrounds, even the whole thing. How crazy. You could do a whole chapter on the state of my apartment just from what you've been watching on all these videos over my shoulder. I never even addressed it until now for the first time ever, I think, really. Well, I've talked about the litter box and Peanut sometimes there, but I mean, like, I've not talked about Mr. Plant. That's Mr. Plant. He has a name. His name's Mr. Plant. I've never talked about that giant picture down there. And I've talked about the dead computer iMac that you can barely see on the other side of that litter box. But yeah, like, I'm sure there's an entire chapter in the dissertation of this clinician about the ADHD, how the background to Deckard's videos represents an element of his typical ADHD, like the typical neurodivergence. It's typical of someone with ADHD to have an apartment situation the way he does. You can see that by the way the books are stacked and by the way there's like, whatever. I'm not that clinician. I don't know what the others are, but I'm sure that because I do have ADHD, and it's no doubt affected the way I live in my condo, just as it's affected the way I'm making these videos. So absolutely primary resource. So I am a man of science and the arts, a philosopher-king, I believe they used to be called, someone who could lead with science but feel with their heart. That's where art, I think, comes from. It's short for heart. I think they changed it though, because like it sounds like he art, and it's not gendered, but they couldn't go she art. They couldn't go shart with it. That word was already taken. So they got rid of heart. I think all art used to be called heart, but then there was, what about women and the she art, he art, It was like, we'll just call it art. We'll take the he out of the heart to make it art. Or we could add the she, we could put an S in front of the heart and call it shart. Oh, we can't do that, right? That's clear. That word was already taken at the time. It's not called he art. It used to be called heart, but they couldn't call it that no more because of the gender implications. So it's just called art. I'm not saying one way or the other. I think people should not, be prejudiced against. We'll get the pronouns out of art, and we'll just call it art. We won't call it heart anymore. Well, we can't ever call it shart, though. You can't call art as a whole shart. You can't do that. Some art might be shart, but you can't call the whole movement of artistic creation itself shart. And we can't call it art, so it's called art. So, as a philosopher-king, I know the roots of my arts and my sciences. So that's why I went on that quick excursion. Right? That's what the Deckard videos are. They're an art and a science, which is why you should watch them 100%. Because you never know what you're going to learn. You never know what you're going to learn. You watch a Deckard video, you never know what you're going to learn. Also, though, regardless of what you not learned, you never know when you're going to be entertained, right? So there's two reasons right there. You never know what you're going to learn, and you never know when you're going to be entertained. But something's happening, that's for sure. Knowledge, entertainment, it's all combined. Art and science. That's what a Deckard video combines seamlessly. It's my philosopher-king. Yeah. Those like rulers who were like really, I don't know what the analogy would be. I guess artistic, because the philosophers are the scientists, very, very thoughtful rulers, but artists too. Artful kings, maybe? Philosopher artists. I got them all here with Deckard's videos. Look, they're all very meager. I'm starting from scratch, but you got to aim high. Absolutely going to be a Philosopher-Art-King. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. Not to rule you. No, to rule myself, but as a Philosopher-Art-King. See, I'll be in rule for myself, but I'll have the most happiest life. Right? I'll be the king of my life, but an artful and philosophical king. So I'll know what I'm kinging about, and it'll feel right too, and it'll look good, right? It'll look good because I'm an art king, Philosopher-Art-King. Yeah, that's my aspiration. That's not what I'm saying I'm at. I'm working towards that. Now I know. I've been working towards it my whole life, but now for the last 3 or 4 months, I know that that's what I'm working towards. I never knew that before. Never felt like that really before. But now that I got these videos that are arts and sciences, I can see how I'm like on my way. And it's philosophizing really, so it's Philosopher-Art-King. What's the king part of it? The art, the science, and the charisma. The charisma, which I'm luckily born with, right? Like that's the rulership. You've only followed someone that you can admire, right? Like in the old days, like the Roman days, who'd you follow? The Caesar that you admire, like Marcus Aurelius is what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm not sure where the rulership, because my ruler for myself, I gotta have charisma to myself. I'm not saying I'm not ruling you, so I don't need to have charisma to you, so you can't gainsay me on this. It's not about it's charisma's in the eye of the beholder. If I'm the one beholding myself and I say charisma is, then it is. So there, it doesn't even matter for you. It's not a brag. Why not love yourself? So charismatic ruler, artist, philosopher, scientist, Philosopher-King, Philosopher-Art-King. That's what I'm working towards, and I feel like I'm on the right path finally with these videos. They're philosophically, artistically, kingly. I'm making more progress than I ever was. That's for damn sure. So there's that. I mean, I think I have a right to be a little bit proud of myself here, as far as I get with it. I may not get very far. I'm not trying to say I'm a Philosopher-Art-King, but that's what I'm aiming at. Why not go for the best? Wouldn't that be the best to be that? Why not try to be that? If you're going to try to be something, why not try to be the best thing? For you. That's the only thing I've ever wanted to be. Like, I've never even, of all the other things, I just thought of a Philosopher-Art-King per se in this conversation, per se. Before that, though, really, that's what I was wanting to be all along. But before I knew what that was, I never knew what I wanted to be. But now, once you know, it's the best thing for you. Whatever your thing is. Some of you know it. Some of you already are it. But I've never known it. Never been it. I've been, because it takes a long time to be a Philosopher-Art-King. If you can even do it. But you never give up trying. That's the kingliness of being a Philosopher-Art-King, is like the persistence of it. Because you just can't help it. And over time, you've made a whole art. And you've been a whole philosopher for your life. And that's the proof of your kingship over your life. And you were a Philosopher-Art-King. On your deathbed, you get to celebrate that. As long as you did it with knowing intent. Right? I mean, or whatever. I'm not trying to take away from anybody else, however they do it. But for me, I finally feel like I'm going to be able to die proud of my life. That I finally got to a place where I was on the road to being my best version. Right? The Philosopher-Art-King that I always didn't even know, but I always wanted to be. Never even knew. Never even heard of it. Who's ever heard of a Philosopher-Art-King? Like a fart. No, wait. Philosopher-Art. A fart king? Oh, God. I just go and go and go. Man, if you're going to go, I love making these videos. If you're going to go, right, if you're going to make a video, if you're going to, then just, man, like, I don't know how you go. I go all in or not at all. There's an all in one of my two goes and not goes. It's either all in or not at all. That's my all in. That's my go and go and go. Like, if I'm going to go, I'm going to go and go and go. And if I'm not going to go, I'm going to go and go and go at that, which is chilling. I'm just going to chill, but I'm going to chill hard, but like relaxing. I'm just going to relax hard, right? I'm going to go and go and go. That's how I do it. Why not do it like that? That's what I'm saying. Sometimes that cracks me up when I go and go and go and I just get lost in a... But look, a Philosopher-Art-King is like, it's a fart king. Yeah, I don't know. But it's spelled with a PH. A fart king. Philosopher-Art. It's like a PhD in art is a fart. It would be though, right? A doctor of philosophy, an artist of philosophy, is a fart D. It's the PH-Art-D. It's a doctorate in philosophicals of art. A doctorate in the philosophy of arts. A fart D. It's one of the degrees you can get. In college it is. A PH-Art-D? You never heard of a fart D? Jesus Christ. These rookies I'm dealing with here on this videos. Look, kids, yes, I'm almost getting a fart D right here in my life. So it's not really a school, but yes, you can get a fart D if you go to art school. Get a PhD in art studies is a fart D. Whatever. So a Philosopher-Art-King is kind of like a fart king. A PhD in art, the king of it. That's what a fart D is. A fart D king. I'm a fart D king, the king of it. Of his own life, for sure. Who can gainsay me this? Who else was the king of your life besides you? Right? Did you let somebody else king your life? I hope not. I don't think you can, but like, I hope not. That would suck. Like, if you're going to king yourself, at least king yourself, right? Like, king your own life. You got to be the king in your own life. Nobody else can be the king. If you're going to be the king in your own life, be a king about it, right? That's what I say. So, the fact that I'm a Philosopher-Art-King is my choice. Or that I'm choosing to aim at that is my choice. And now I can die happy because I'm taking steps towards there. And just, I'm not going to ever get there. You can't ever really get there, maybe. Except for maybe the last time you try to get there, you get there. And that's going to be on your deathbed. Because up until then, it's always just an approximation. Look, no artist is... look at all the artists who nobody even knew until they were dead. Then they got famous, like Van Gogh and those other guys. Right? Most of the best artists, nobody knew them until after they were dead. How do you think I feel? I'm not saying I'm a great artist, but I'm saying my Philosopher-Art-Kingness is going to happen right on my deathbed. And then whether I get famous or not is really up to you. I'll be dead, but I'll be a Philosopher-Art-King to myself in my life right before I die. Already, even if I die right now. Right? Because I committed kingly to my philosopher arts, which are my videos, as inartistic and inartful and inphilosophical they are. How do you even say that word? Trying. I don't even know how to even spell it, but it's inphilosophical. Inartful and inphilosophical. No, and inphilosophical. It's a different emphasis. Philosophical or inphilosophical is inphilosophical as my content is, and as inartful as it may be, it's still Philosopher-Art-Kingful with my effort. Such as it is. It's not really effort, but with my heart. What I wanted for it to be. In my heart. What I hope for it to be. What I was striving for without striving, right? What I was just pouring all of my love and heart into these videos. So I was hoping it could be a Philosopher-Art-King. And it was, because I did that. Even if it was completely inartful and inphilosophical, right? It doesn't matter. The heart of it matters. You can see somebody putting their heart and their soul into something, right? You can't see me doing this, but I can know that I'm doing it. And I can feel that I'm doing it. And that's what makes me feel good about it. That's why I feel good about my art project. I got nothing else to do. I got nothing else I'd rather do. But I don't know what else I would do. I'm happy right now is what I'm saying. And that's in no small part. No small part. Maybe it's not the biggest part, but in no small part due to my art project. My attitude towards my art project is both artful and spiritual. So I got to credit a lot of this to my spiritual growth, evolution, advancement, progression, whatever's been going on for the past 6 months. Delusion, crazy maybe, I don't know. It doesn't feel like I'm going crazy, but it is different. So we'll stop this video now, but this is my first take on my introduction video to my new playlist called Advanced Math Sermons. I hope they're useful and entertaining. I don't know if they are, but I hope they are. There you go. Look for monies, manifestation, and laws of attraction. That's going to be my first drop on the playlist. I think I red line. I think that's what that red line is on my was that incredibly loud thumb knuckle crack. Full and entertaining. It does kind of hurt. A little bit. Not really. I can crack. I love cracking. I've been cracking my knuckles since I was 13 years old. Since 7th grade, y'all. And I never was going to stop. And I knew it wasn't bad for your knuckles because it felt so good. It's so good. Knuckle crackers, salute. Man, we know what it feels like to crack a knuckle. And it feels good, y'all. Yeah, anyway, so every once in a while... I go a little hard because I know it's going to make a loud noise and it's satisfying. And yeah, it hurts a little bit, not from the crack, but just from yanking on it. But not really. But yeah, I like to, and I think that's a loud one. And yeah, I'm getting hungry, man. You can't call art as a whole sharp. You can't do that.